Morning, Amber. Bloom's on the hill, and I'm just about to feed my chickens. And chicken house, and hubby has done an extension, which you can sort of see. So it's kind of got a big new bit. I'll show you, but this is for the gangster chickens to go in here. It's not finished yet. It shouldn't have all these gaps, but he did this 2 days ago, starting later in the afternoon and then finishing after 10 o'clock. And we just finished it so it was fox proof, so the chickens and ducks that are in here weren't going to get eaten. So anyway, I got to feed them. Yay! Well, it's actually, before I feed you guys, it's got all this space in here. So we'll have to obviously fill the gaps with the palings and, I don't know, put nesting boxes and things for them to perch on. So that'll be tomorrow's fun. Oh, hopefully. Greenhouse. Just thought I'd do a quick Mayflower farm tour update. Not a heap going on. Well, actually there's lots going on. Look in here, there's heaps going on in here. Flower farm isn't very exciting to look at the moment because all the dahlias are out. My eldest son came on Sunday, which was Mother's Day, and as a lovely present, which I don't think he realised it was a present. There's a snail. Get out of here. He dug up the dahlias for me out of the paddock. So I'd done quite a lot out of my flower patch. Where's that sun coming from? Out of my flower patch, and there was several hundred in the paddock. So he dug those out for me, which was nice. And then we started to sort them and put them into piles of varieties, and then the next day I bucketed them all up and shifted them all and put them all away. So there's still some out that are just random ones that I don't know what they are, some that I'm not keeping. So I've got some are going to go to my neighbours, some is going to go to my mother-in-law, and so they can enjoy them. I've got another flower farmer who wants some clumps of some red pom-pom type ones, so I'll give her some of those in exchange. I think she's got some to exchange, so I thought that was a good idea. So that's what's sort of going on. But meanwhile, the greenhouse is full of little seedlings coming up, which are slightly getting attacked by, I don't think, snails. I'm not seeing any silvery trails. Something's flying down and eating things, which is great. So in here, lots of stock. I've got beautiful antique rose, champagne, creamy yellow. I've got bit of scabiosa, the Fama variety, which is a perennial variety. So there's deep blue, there's white, which is getting a little munched and not all of it's come up. More stock. I've got some snapdragons, Potomac pink. There's some chocolate lace I've potted on. More stock, more stock. I really like stock. One little miserable Orlea plant. Lots of chocolate lace here, which is great. More of this Scabiosa Fama white, which I'm really keen for. Straw flower here that hasn't germinated. Apple mint, that's tiny bit has germinated now that I've moved it in here. Bit of Queensland's lace that's come up. Some of this winged everlasting. A nice spider web going on here. Hardly any feverfew. More stock, which is a white one. Bit more, lots of chocolate lace I've put in. Here's some Nigella, which is a white one, and a blue one. On this side, we'll go down here first. More stock. Snail. Get that off the wall. Cherry blossom, champagne. More stock. Olea, chocolate lace. Yep, poppies that aren't coming up at all. Down there's a lilac lavender stock, which was, I put that in not that long ago. Oh, this chocolate lace is coming up. That's good. Here's my Piggy Sue sweet peas. Since they've been moved in here, there's a few extras that have come up. And Blue Shift, which was another new one. A few extras have come up since being in here. Snaps. I think they're snaps too. Scabiosa. Oh, that's just I think the annual one. The white one and salmon one in there. Sure, I'm not doing very good camera work today. Summer fruits, Scabiosa, salmon rose. There's seeds left over from last season, so I've just hurled them in. Bit more status, a lavender one. More chocolate lace. What's down the bottom there? More stock. Potted on my apple mint. More stock. That grows really well, that. I've got some more Gadisha in, which is a tall variety, another tall variety, which is more a bluey pink, different shades of pinks, some more snapdragons. Here, more Gadisha, I don't know. So there's heaps going on. Oh no, that's been knocked over. Bugger. Now, gangster chickens in here are having a bit of a hard time of it because I'm not letting them out at the moment. So I'm hurling food in there and they all rush back in and go and get the food. I give them some water and lock them back up. That bit of tin there is what keeps the door shut. Not a very good door. And that actually the bit of tin keeps the foxes out. So they're not having a very good time of it at the moment. But it's just for another couple of days really until we get this chicken house sorted. And then they can all just go in there. I cannot handle the destruction to my garden anymore because there's going to be a great chicken side. Is that a thing? Chicken side, yes. Homicide, chicken side. Yeah, there's going to be chicken side. Don't get out. You're not getting out. You're going back in. Yeah. You're going back in. Come on. I don't want you out. Kid. Does seem a little bit mean, but it's better than chickens being murdered anyway. They're right, they got food, they got water. They're a bit bored, but I might chuck a magazine at them maybe later and that might keep them quiet. Now, apologies for the background music of the chainsaw. The neighbour's kids, and I say kids, are on their chainsaws again. So this is what the garden is currently looking like. Just a really zoomy quick pan. It looks pretty gnarly at the moment. I've still got most of these nets up because I'm too scared to pull them down in case the chickens do happen to escape. So I've got the Dutch iris under here, which I potentially might still keep this net down, and this net on these freesia bulbs that I planted, because last season I put tulips in. I had 600 tulips, which is not many for a flower farmer, but I kept coming out in the morning and finding them dug up, and it was a fox. So I'm sort of like, I might keep them down, but I'll see. It was just annoying until my husband shot said fox. They kept getting dug up on me. Anyway, I got the last of the dahlias out, save this one here. That was Kahuna. I cut that down yesterday because it still had 3 flowers on it, but I've put compost on this bed. Oh, actually, my hubby helped move some compost here, which was nice. Sweet peas are still going along okay. They're still mostly in the ground now that I've been locking the chickens up. So this will all come off this net, and there's all that row down there. I did actually move the net off here because I cut some of these cosmos. This is the last plant left from the summer. I cut some yesterday just to bring into the house, and there's been this coriander hasn't done so brilliantly, and there's Gadisha in here in the middle, but I wonder whether the chickens attack some, and the little larkspur plants. I did move this penstemon. It's not looking very happy, but I might just cut him. I think you're supposed to cut them back, so I think they're supposed to die back anyway. I've still got ranunculus corms under here. Once again, maybe not taking this off. I'm not too sure whether foxes are going to dig those up as well. I don't think so. They didn't last year. Now remember, I put ranunculus as well into crates, and the chickens dug them up, and I can't find any of the corms. There would have been 30 corms total. The nice Italian ones, the nice expensive Italian ones. They were beautiful pastel, I think they were salmon ones, or a mix of pastel. I can't remember. Anyway, I can't find any. Stupid chickens just dug them all up, so I'm very angry at them. So this is one of my last dahlias left standing. This is Penhill watermelon. I picked a couple of flowers off that yesterday. And then over here, I've still got this one, which is Florally Oracle. And this plant here, which has actually got quite a few flowers, is Corabelle Astrid. And I picked 2 yesterday, so I'm actually just letting these bloom before I cut them down. Just enjoy the last of them. Right, so this is the dahlia patch, which now no longer has any dahlias in it. It's probably hard to see. I've got the sun shining in your face. Sorry about that. The Osa are still going. Yesterday I managed to pick a few of these white ones. They will probably come back again next year. The ones in my front garden seem to again, so I think I'll just make sure I leave all of those. Right, this is my flower patch dahlia area, the ex-dahlia area from the bottom. As you can see, they're all out. There's a little pile just above my finger here. Mostly unlabeled ones, so they'll probably go to my mother-in-law. She will like those. There's a few up the top I've got to do something with as well, probably give away. And I'm going to make individual garden beds like the ones that are over here, and I'm going to do the whole no dig method as much as I can until I run out of cardboard. So I'm going to put the little seedlings that are in the greenhouse will go in this area, and then there is some carrots I want to sow. I've got some seeds, I've got some spring onions, I've got some broccoli, and I've got some cauliflower. So I'll start the broccoli and cauliflower in the greenhouse and then plant them out here. I will have to net them though, because we get that little cabbage moth in it. We can never successfully get broccoli and cauliflower because it always gets eaten, but I'll see how I go. Now that I've got all this netting, gotta love the sound of chainsaws in the morning. I'm really waiting for the screams as a 9-year-old cuts his arm off, but anyway. And when I say 9-year-old on a chainsaw, I'm not joking. Anyway, this is the paddock. No more dahlias in here. And my daughter helped me yesterday. Was it yesterday? The day before? Day before, I think. Pick up all the little plastic tags that were everywhere, and also roll up the weed mat, which was very ripped. This is actually, it's here. We've rolled it up. These are the better bits. There was one bit that was quite torn, but as you can see here, it's quite frayed, and that was just mostly from the wind. So it's not the best, but anyway, I'll try and reuse as much of that as possible. So, this green, grey stuff there, that's actually Cineraria or Dusty Miller, so that's got to stay. It's a perennial. But what's going to happen from here is hubby is going to, we'll probably spray out all this area, and hubby will need to rotary hoe this and this patch. I want him to do this middle section too this year as well, so that I've got a bigger area down here, because more stuff will go down here and less up in the flower patch. We're sort of trying to turn that over to perennials, so I'll make this area a little bit bigger. I did have a soil test done down here when I had, well, on the hill behind me there was a soil test done there. So I said, can you please do my dahlia patch area? So I know what needs to go down on this bit. So we're going to get this bit fertilised. Whether we do this whole paddock, because hubby puts potatoes and things in over there, we might do that as well, or even if it's just this bit, because fertiliser is expensive but necessary. I've also got my compost to go down, so we're going to put that on here before we rotary hoe, so that'll get nicely worked into the soil, and then we can put that fertiliser down. So technically everything should grow like stink, so fingers crossed. And here's some leftover clumps of tubers. Some of them are labelled, some of them are not. My son mixed up this pile, so now I'm not too sure what are. I don't think they're tequila sunrises. I think they're Crayoles, or however you say that word, and then hot shots. So I'm not sure what's going on in there, but presents for neighbours, mother-in-law, big clumps of tubers that I just can't have all the varieties. These are ones that were my original varieties that I have lots and lots of, and I really don't want to put that many in. And then there's some ones that I don't know what they are. The constant sound of chainsaws. I'm waiting for the sound of the bzz, 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 and then the ah as a little kid cuts his arm off, because there's literally a 9-year-old over there with a chainsaw. It's I don't know. Anyway, here I've got some snapdragons that are in, and these are from last year. So as you'll notice, oh, here's some new ones, which I was really mad about. The chickens dug those up as soon as I put them in. Anyway, no more now that they're locked up. So I weeded all through here, because this was a gigantic weedy mess, and cut these old ones down. So these were all really tall and dead at the top, but there's new growth coming on these ones. So if you've got your snapdragons, they will give you 2 years. So these will go into their 2nd year. The ones that I'm growing at the moment, I will plant them in amongst these. So that'll be still the snapdragon bed, and at the other end there's some scabiosas. So some of the new scabiosa I'm growing, the annual stuff, can go in amongst that as well. There's just some bare patches. This messy patch here is also scabiosa, so I'll clear that out a bit and cut some down that look like they're sort of dead, but they'll refresh again, and I'm pretty sure they'll give me another season. They may even just keep going, I'm not sure. Anyway, so that's what's going on there. But this looks so much better now I've cleared it out, and it actually didn't take me that long to weed it out. Hori knife, if you haven't got one, get one, they're great. I find with my sore back that using any kind of hoe is really hard. It's that sort of reaching out action and a slight bend and arms going out. I'm finding that hurts me, but if I can just crawl around on my hands and knees, even though I'm sort of hunched over, I try and keep my back flat. And the hori knife is brilliant. It can just cut out underneath all the weeds. So that's a preferred method for me, but if you've got sore back, you might want to try that. Now for Mother's Day, I got given some native plants. Well, I think they're more native to South Africa somewhere. Now these are some proteas. Yeah, they're South Africa. Waratah, that's Australia. That's a white one. And this one is a red one. I really like these. These will go in somewhere, and they'll take a few years to get established, but that'll be nice to have a few more natives. Hubby moved some of my natives that I had, and they died because they don't like being moved. Natives go in, natives need to stay. Oh, and I've also got these bulbs. What's only is my husband's Auntie Jean gave these to me, and I still haven't put them in. They're sprouting nicely, so I will do that. I'll put those in this week. But they're a lovely pink flower, and they'll look really pretty in arrangements. They can just go in and stay in as well. Look at my sad, dead dahlias that were in the house. I've been enjoying the last of the flowers. They were over on the coffee table near the wood heater, so they didn't last that long. But anyway, I'm just trying to enjoy everything. So I'll just give you a quick rundown of what I'm going to, the plan going forward. As usual, I am consistently inconsistent with what I want to do with things, and the plan had sort of changed to do mostly weddings, which I think is still probably a good idea, because you know, you can make good money, and I don't really want to do markets anymore. I keep telling you that I don't want to do markets, because it's lugging things around like that enormous marquee, which is really heavy. It hurts me, and there's a huge amount of work. Obviously the months and months of growing things, and the day before it takes hours to harvest, and then you make very little money, so that's kind of, you know, pointless. Yesterday I went to the osteo, just a little side note there, and regular appointments to see him regarding back and hips. And if I do a really full day of work wheelbarrowing compost, which I'm currently doing to make new garden beds, and I end up limping really badly and I'm in a lot of pain. So I know that you guys are mostly my age and a little older, so you're probably all nursing some kind of injury yourself, or just, you know, doing the getting old thing, which is really depressing. But it's meaning that I really need to change how I do this, and because the problem is I'm a bit of a people pleaser, and for example, I have these weddings coming up and I'm absolutely busting my gut for these November weddings, which is fine, but that's going to have to be the last time that I really wreck myself because I'm doing all of this, and my osteo said to me yesterday, do you have to do all of this? And I'm like, well, actually, no, I don't. I don't have to have a flower farm. I don't have to grow flowers like this, and I don't have to hurt myself to do it. Sorry about that. My daughter just had to get her Barbie camper. Barbie camper. She loves Barbie. I don't understand because I never ever had Barbie dolls, really. Didn't do that. I wasn't very girly. Anyway, yeah, so my osteo said to me, you know, do you have to do all this? I'm like, well, actually, no, I do it because I can't really sit still. I always want to contribute financially, even though like half of what goes on in the farm in terms of the livestock is also my responsibility. I always feel like I want to have something that I'm contributing. So I sort of can't go out to work because I've got the kids here. With our homeschool and everything. So look at the hand movements today. So anyway, I kind of think, yeah, I don't really need to do all of this and hurt myself because it's just sort of getting worse. Yesterday when I didn't do any gardening, I wasn't sore by the end of the day. So I don't want to not garden. I don't want to not flower farm. So it just means changing what I'm doing, really. So the change is going to be to more perennials. And I've made a list of things, and I have got change to more perennials and in brackets back-friendly gardening. So this means just growing limited annuals, so starting things constantly from seeds. And I think I did show you this really fantastic book by, is it Rachel Siegfried? She's got it's about perennials. It's really, really good, and it just sort of opens your eyes a little bit more to plants that are certainly more friendly they just go in and they're in. I mean, you've obviously sometimes, like lavender for example, you do need to replace it after about 5 years because it gets terribly woody, and even though you cut it back every year, it, you know, you've just got to chuck in a new one. But you know, as long as you're on top of that and make sure that, oh yeah, that one's going to be crappy next year, so in 2 years time, let's get one in now to take care of the fact that that's going to be gone in a couple of years. You've just sort of got to be on the ball that way. But so anyway, I made a list. So for spring, gradually building up the rose collection, and also peonies, which the ones I've got about 20, nearly 20 peonies, and I've just ordered some more. They are something that likes a colder climate. Now, I did read on one of the companies where I ordered some from, that if you can grow apple trees, you can grow peonies. So there's a big apple tree just there outside my window. So peonies should be okay here. I had some in my driveway when we first moved here, and obviously I did it wrong. Probably planted them too deep, and they didn't flower. So they have been moved since, and they've actually, some of them have been moved twice. But I should be sort of on the cusp of getting proper flowers really soon, so it may even be the next season. But anyway, they say 3 years before you get proper flowers. But roses and peonies, also iris. So I put those Dutch iris in, but I was also given a bunch of bearded iris, so see how they go this year. But I really probably need to buy some more bearded iris. Daffodils too, they can just go in, and you can just put them in amongst your lawn, and then once they're done, once they've died right back, just mow over them, and then just summer just mow your lawn over the top of them, so they're easy too. I put in some freesias so they can stay in as well, really. Hellebores, of course, I've got one really good one that each year is producing more and more, and I've actually last year put in a couple of others, but I don't know how they're going to go because they're probably not in the best spots, but they do like being under trees, particularly deciduous trees. So I've got some up the front. I could actually fill that area with hellebores, although the soil's not good there, so that would need to be fixed up a bit. Hydrangeas too. I've actually just ordered a few of those PG hydrangeas, the lovely sort of cone-shaped ones. You could command quite a lot per stem for those, so I've got to find more shady spots. And my parents also give me lots of cuttings every year, so that's those. I've also got feverfew, which is a perennial, makes a really good fill. Scabiosa, as I was saying, that Fama variety, which is a perennial. Of course, things like lavender and salvias, well, salvia's summer, but you know, things that you can find in your garden. Of course, don't forget foliage. I really need to attack my trees a bit more. I always forget about those. So that's sort of mostly perennials there. Oh, biannual foxgloves. I put foxgloves in last year. I got this beautiful apricot one, and the foliage is looking lush and lovely now. So I'm going to get some more. I know I am. Fingers crossed. They self-seed really regularly. Neighbour up the road has got them at self-seed all the time. So she says they just keep coming back. So I'm hoping that's what happens here. I have put some more in. I started more from seed than I saved. So those are lovely as a spike flower and a good sort of wedding colour. The annuals I want to do for spring, sweet peas, because who doesn't love sweet peas? And they're pretty easy to start from seed. So sweet peas, stock. I do like stock, and that grows really easily. Chocolate lace I've had success with this year because I started in trays. Last year I didn't do any. The year before it was direct sowed. I think I got one plant. So chocolate lace, if you haven't grown that, gorgeous, beautiful, blends in with lots of different colours, and so that's a good filler and a good airy lace flower. And snapdragons, even though they are a bit more tricky as a seed, they're gorgeous. They're the most beautiful varieties, and if you can get 2 years out of them, then that's good as well. So that's spring. I'll try and do this quick because you just moved. Sorry. Oh, shivers. Oh, sorry about that. That's just making it worse. As you can see, we're really high tech with our. Okay, it's going to stay like that. So summer dahlias as a focal flower. And as I said before, potentially, or did I say before or not? Can't remember. Dahlias, I could leave them in. I could leave dahlias in if I really wanted to. So that'll save me digging them up. It just means no tuber sales. Or maybe I could dig up some. I don't know. But I need to reduce the number of dahlias because honestly, I don't need 30 billion of them. So just work on which ones are the best colours. The other thing, I've got some echinacea, and I've actually ordered some more echinacea. So it's a lovely daisy shape. That's a perennial. Once again, your roses will keep flowering a bit, and then you'll hopefully get that autumn flush as well. There's salvias, which I used the other day in a bouquet. They looked really pretty. Yarrow. Yarrow's lovely. I've got some there. That's a perennial, and that apparently spreads. So that hopefully should come back again. Well, it will. And I've actually just ordered 3 small plants of it because I just thought, oh, look at this colour. It's like a salmon. So I'm going to do that. Hang on, here comes another child. Okay, as I was saying, yarrow. So I've ordered 3 plants of a salmon colour variety just to give us a quick head start on that, because that's a lovely filler as well, like lots of little flowers together in a stem. So that's a good one. Also sedum, I have a few plants of that around, and I used that in a March wedding. That was beautiful in the arrangements that I did. I don't have a lot of it, and the plants, when they come up, they're just sort of a single stem mostly. So I guess once the root base gets bigger, more established, then I'll get more. My mother-in-law does have a lot of sedum, so the sedum I used in this wedding was actually from her, so that was lovely. The other thing, chrysanthemums, not my absolute favorite, but perennial. And this purple one I've got, actually it's this one. This one's a bit floppy at the moment, but that one's a really pretty one. And you can take cuttings from those really, really easily. They just strike really well. And once again, hydrangea too, you can use them through into the summer, and some of them, like, they change color and they're really lovely. Foliage is good to use as well. So the annuals for summer that I'll be doing, zinnias, you get heaps of flowers, they keep cut and come again. They will, heaps of varieties as well. They're also easy to start from seed, and you can direct sow them if you like. And cosmos, another easy one. Lots of nice airy flowers, and you can cut really deep in the plant and get that foliage with them as well. And I'll probably do celosia too, because it's the spike varieties, so like the flamingo feather, and I've got the Texas plume variety. I saved all these seeds, so I'm going to go for all of those again too. Anyway, I hope that hasn't been too boring. Listen to me gab on about plants that I intend on growing, but that should hopefully be a slightly narrowed down list. And what I actually might do is narrow it down even further. So I just want to make sure that I have all the ingredients though for a bouquet, because I do also like selling bouquets from home, and I'm finding that the search engines of the magic internet are actually, people are actually finding me. So I sold a bouquet, someone ordered from New Zealand, someone ordered from Tasmania, and someone ordered from Ballarat the other day. So obviously people are looking up flowers for this area and actually finding me. So hopefully that will increase, because I quite actually like just doing that too. So even if I didn't do weddings and just sold the odd bouquet here and there, you know, that would mean that the flowers, yeah, it would be decreased. Really should probably grow more vegetables. I feel like vegetables are illegal when you're a flower farmer. Illegal veg. Grow some of that, because it is nice to eat your own produce. But really want to have, you know, a focal flower, a daisy shape, a spike flower, something's a sort of a bit airy, whimsy, and sort of filler, and that kind of makes you 5. And then whatever foliage you can pillage from. Who said Cidus rhodus? Love that. Someone put in a comment the other day, and it was a couple of months ago when I was doing wedding expo, and I picked all that wattle from the side of the road, and they said Cidus rhodus, best plant ever. Love that. Totally going to use that. Anyway, I will go because I'm just rambling now, and I will see you soon. Keep on going with this composting and wheelbarrowing and try not to damage myself. I'll see you later. Bye.